So we're in 2 Kings 6. And the son of the prophet said to Elijah, "So now the place where we dwell with you is too small for us. Please let us go to the Jordan, and let every man take a beam from there, and let us make there a place where we may dwell." So he answered and go. Then one said, "Please consent to go with your servants." And he answered, "I will go." So he went to them, and when they came to the Jordan, they cut down trees. So here's Elijah. And he's here, he's with the sons of the prophets again. What did we say? These are guys that are in training. And they're mentioned again here, like they were in the last chapter. But they want to move, because they're saying it's getting too small. So there's about 100 of them now, they say. And that's a good thing, isn't it? You have more people wanting to follow God. So it's growing. But they want to go down, and they want to make a bigger place, a dwelling. So, verse 5, but as one was cutting down a tree, the iron axe head fell into the water, and he cried out and said, "Allah's master," for it was borrowed. So the man of God said, "Where did it fall?" And he showed him a place. So he cut off a stick and threw it in there, and he made the iron float. Therefore he said, "Pick it up for yourself." So he reached out his hand and took it. So here they are. He borrowed this axe. And if you knew what the Jewish law, the law was for them, if you borrowed something and you lost it, you had to pay it back. So most likely he would end up being a servant for somebody to pay it back, because he probably didn't have the money for it. So he was really worried here. But what does Elijah do? I mean, he goes, he cuts off a stick and throws it in the water, and the iron floats. It floats right to the top of the water. But then he made the guy go pick it up himself. Isn't that sometimes what we have to do? We ask God to help us with something, but we have to go take care of it too, don't we? We have to put feet in where we're asking for, don't we? Now, a lot of people say they want to believe that he threw the stick in, it got stuck on the axe and floated and all that. They've came up with all kinds of excuses. But if God could make the world in 3 days, made the earth, couldn't he make metal? Couldn't he make metal float?
Yeah, he can do anything.
I mean, we know he could. And here's what Elijah did. This is another one of the miracles he did. And then in verse 8 it says, "Now the king of Syria was making war against Israel. And he consulted with the servant, saying, 'My camp will be in such a place.' The man of God sent the king of Israel, saying, 'Beware that you do not pass this place, for the Syrians are coming down there.' Then the king of Israel sent someone to the place of which the man of God had told him. Thus he warned him, and as he was watchful, there not just once or twice. So here he is, Elijah, and what's he doing? The king of Syria is trying to figure out, how does he know his plans? You know, all of a sudden, every time I go to do something, I plan something, Israel knows what's going on. Here it is that Elijah's getting notified by God what to do. He's getting told. And then in verse 11 it says, "Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was greatly troubled by this thing. And he called his servants and said to them, 'Will you not show me which of us is for the king of Israel?' And one of the servants said, 'None of mine, Lord the king, but Elijah the prophet, who is Israel, tells the king of Israel, and the words he speaks in your bedroom. So here he is. He's like, Elijah's the one telling us. He's hearing exactly what you're telling your wife in the bedroom. He knows everything. So here God's given him a lot of insight, isn't he? And then verse 13, he said, so he said, go out and see where he is, that it may send and get him. And it was told him, saying, surely he is in Dathel. Therefore he sent horses, chariots, a great army there, and they came by night and surrounded the city. And when the servant of man of God arose early and went out, there was an army surrounding the city with horses, chariots, and the servant said to him, Alice, my master, what shall we do? So he answered, do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. And Elijah prayed and said, Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see. That the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses, chariots, and fire, all around Elisha. So here they are. They come in during the night. They're going to get them. And all these chariots and everything are surrounding them. And Elijah says, I'm not worried. God had him covered already, didn't he? Them guys couldn't see him, but God already had to fight the battle won. And in verse 18, so when the Syrians came down to him, Elijah prayed to the Lord and said, strike this people, I pray, with blindness. And he struck them with blindness, according to the word of Elijah. And Elijah said to him, this is not the way, nor is this a city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom you seek. But he led them to Samaria. So here he is. He asked them to be struck blind. And who's leading them?
He is.
He's leading them himself. He's leading them right out there in Samaria. So it was, in verse 20, when he had come to Samaria, that Elijah said, Lord, open the eyes of those men, that they may see. And the Lord opened the eyes, and they saw. And there they were, inside Samaria. Now when the king of Israel saw them, he said to Elijah, my father said, I killed them. Shall I kill them? But he answered, you should not kill them. Would you will kill those you have taken captive with a sword and your bow? Set food out and water before them, that they may eat and drink and go to their master. Then he prepared a great feast for them, and after they ate and drank, he sent them away, and they went to their master. So the band of Syrian raid came no more into the land of Israel. So here he is. They're saying, should we kill him? What does he do? He doesn't kill them, does he? He feeds them. He takes care of them, and he sends them back. Yes. You think about that. What does the Bible tell us? When you have enemies,
you feed them.
do kindness to them. Yep. This is coming back to what a lot of stuff that's said in the New Testament, isn't it? Elijah is doing the same kind of stuff. And this is where we need to learn that when God's in control of stuff, he's going to take care of it. In verse 24, and it happened after this that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his armies and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria. Indeed, they besieged it until a donkey head was sold for 80 shekels of silver, and 1/4 a cob of dove droppings for 5 shekels. Then, as the king of Israel passing by a wall, a woman cried out to him, saying, help me, O Lord, O king. So So here in Samaria now, they're having a famine, ain't they? And God's given them a famine. Just think, a head of donkey, a donkey's head, how much meat are you going to get off a donkey's head? Not very much.
No.
It's going for 80 shekels of silver. And for 5 shekels of silver, you're getting pigeon droppings. So they're really hungry, aren't they?
Yep.
They're starving. If you start thinking about the way they were, it even gets worse, because this woman is crying out to him in verse 27, and he said, "If the Lord does not help you, where can I find help for you? From the threshold of the floor and the wine presses." The king said to her, "What is troubling you?" And she answered, "This woman said to me, 'Give your son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow.' So we boiled my son and ate him. And I said to her the next day, 'Give your son that we may eat him.' But she has hidden her son." Now it happened when the king heard this words of the woman, that he tore his clothes, and as he passed by the wall, the people looked, and there underneath he had sackcloth on his body. So the famine's gotten so bad, they're eating their kids, aren't they?
Wow.
I mean, this lady's coming up complaining because they ate her son, and then they come back. She was supposed to come back and eat the other lady's son, she refused. So what's the king do? He goes, tears off his clothes, gets sackcloth on his body. You know anything about sackcloth? Have you ever had like burlap on you? It's rough, it's hard, it's scratchy.
Yeah.
So when you wear it, you know. And in verse 31 he says, "Then he said, 'God, do so to me, the more also as the head of Elijah, and the son of Shaph remain on him today.' But Elijah was sitting in his house, and the elders were sitting with him. And the king sent a man ahead of him. But before the messengers came to him, he said to the elders, 'Do you see how this son of a murderer has sent someone to take away my head? Look, when the messengers come, shut the door, hold him fast at the door. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him?' And while he was still talking with them, there was a messenger coming down to him, and the king said, 'Surely this calamity is from the Lord. Why should I wait for the Lord any longer?'" So the king's given up, isn't he? He sent a messenger, but what's he comes right behind him. Elijah, no matter what he does, God gives him wisdom. We can learn from this, that we can learn that we can rely on God. I mean, sometimes we don't see what he's doing behind the scenes, but we know when we're serving him that he's there for us. Like Elijah. Elijah could see him. This other guy couldn't. We have to rely on Christ. We have to rely on what he can do in our life. And we can learn this from the kings, especially from Elijah and 2 Kings. This is what we need to do, each one of us in our life. Let's go to prayer.